Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner, earlier this year, the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration concluded an investigation that I requested into potential abuses of the 45Q credit for carbon capture and sequestration by big fossil fuel companies. The IG confirmed that these companies had, in fact, incorrectly claimed almost $900 million in 45Q credits. Of the 10 companies claiming 99.9% of the 45Q credits, the IG found that only 3 had the required monitoring, reporting, and verification plans in place with the EPA. I subsequently wrote a letter to you urging the IRS to take a number of steps to both ensure that companies that have previously incorrectly claimed the credit are held accountable, and to ensure that these abuses don't continue moving forward. I sent that back on April 29th. And last night at 6 p.m., I got an answer to my April 29th letter. I understand that the IRS has examined a portion of the incorrectly claimed credits and retroactively denied them, and that some additional portion may be currently under audit or could come under audit in the near future. However, in your response, you also declined to commit to auditing all previous claimants of the 45Q credit to ensure that they are in compliance, and you would not commit to implementing a campaign to examine claimants going forward. You said, quote, the IRS cannot initiate examinations on a select group of taxpayers without proper justification, documentation, and approvals. But Commissioner, if the facts that I've discussed here today supported by an investigation of the Inspector General doesn't constitute proper justification and documentation, I don't know what does. I understand that the IRS has limited resources, but it seemed clear to me that ensuring compliance with the 45Q carries a significant return on investment for the American taxpayer. So let me ask you again in person, will you commit to auditing all previous claimants of more than $10,000 in 45Q credits and initiate a campaign to examine future claimants to ensure compliance?
Senator, we are exercising our best efforts with respect to the 45Q credit. We take compliance seriously. We continue to apply significant audit resources in this arena. And as I believe that TICTA report also states, the IRS examiners have consistently denied the credit. And I think of the pool that they were looking at, the examiners denied about 60% of those credits. And I will commit to trying to exercise our best efforts there, but we have to balance that. We have similar, as Senator Wyden opened with, we have similar areas that we need to also devote resources. We only have 6,430 revenue agents.
I appreciate
have the ability
that,
to do that, sir.
I appreciate that, and I have been someone who supported resourcing the IRS so you can do
we appreciate that.
your job. But the bottom line is 45Q was put in to incentivize cleaner energy production and innovate new technologies. And if 900 million is what we got back already, I can just imagine what's available. So it's well worthy. Let me quickly turn to one other question. The COVID pandemic has devastated our cities and local communities, which have been forced to set up and provide an unprecedented level of services. The consequences have had a real drain from Texas to Colorado, from South Carolina to New Jersey. No state is immune. We've had 1.4 million American workers, ultimately all in the public service field, the people who we need the most on the front lines. You're our nation's top tax official. Do you think that state and local governments would be facing the immediate fiscal crisis they're experiencing if it weren't in the middle of a pandemic and recession that caused revenues to fall off a cliff?
Senator, I think I answered this question earlier. That came out in a different format, but I've not been focused on the state and local governments. I am aware of the impact universally public and private sectors by having so many individuals out of work, businesses shut down, and people home, as well as the consequences for the health and safety side, which obviously increases expenses for a lot of individuals. And, I'm
Let me
personally.
ask you this: if we had 3 or 4 million public employees laid off, we're going to have a lot less federal revenue come to the nation's treasury because those people aren't going to be paying, right?
So we are in that mode of, we have 56,000 employees teleworking. Of the balance of the employees, the ones who have non-portable work who need to come in, we need to, be socially distanced and the rest. And it's, we are trying to accomplish, for example, examinations, telephones, processing returns and whatnot, with a limited workforce.
I was referring to that if you had 3 or 4 million people laid off, not furloughed, working remotely, that at the end of the day, the consequences is going to be millions of people who aren't paying their federal taxes. That's going to cost a lot more to the federal treasury.